Let's say you've been working with peers on a survey, and now it's time to present your findings to senior leadership. And like a lot of feedback, the survey contains both positive and negative comments. In times like this, I've often seen teams disagree about how much and what to share in their presentations. I've heard some say, go hard or go home. 100% candor. It doesn't matter if it upsets the listeners or steps on toes. Honesty at all costs. And I've heard others say, let's tone it down. Let's not share something that could offend them publicly or poke holes in things that are close to their hearts. Maybe we can share that stuff later. And anyway, I don't want this to come back and bite me as the messenger. So what's the right answer? Can you combine courage and strategy, candor with care? Can you remain transparent without trampling all over people? Hi, I'm Shari, and the answer is yes. There is a way to bring professional discretion when you find yourself in situations like this. And these tips are actually good for sharing uncomfortable information with anyone, although it feels especially high stakes when we're sharing with someone who's higher up on the org chart than we are. So let's think about how to bring courage and care into the same conversation. First, before you speak up, ask yourself, what's my purpose? What am I trying to accomplish by saying this? What outcome am I hoping for? These questions shift us from just telling it like it is to thinking about what kind of impact do I want to have? Remember, it's not just about sharing truth. It's about offering insight that they can hear and act on. Second, discretion means knowing when and how to share feedback. It's about being thoughtful about the setting and the people involved. Not every issue needs to be raised right now or at that public meeting when they're in front of their peers. Ask yourself, who needs to hear this? Who might feel threatened by this? Is this a conversation best held publicly or privately? And if it's public, how might that affect how it lands or even potentially shut it down? So in other words, is this worth saying here and now? Sometimes the what, the content, is fine. It's the where and the when that make or break it. So maybe your best move is to start small and build, or raise it privately first, because when you are speaking truth that you actually want people to hear, it's not just about being brave, it's about being strategic. Third, if you're challenging something sensitive, especially something they're invested in, tie your concern to something that they already value. So say things like, I know we all care about building trust, or to create the best possible customer experience. This keeps the conversation collaborative rather than confrontational. You're not tearing it down, you're staying aligned with shared values. Fourth, it's really helpful to translate your data into usable insight. If you've got difficult or complex data to share, you don't need to sugarcoat it, but you do want to curate that data. It's not about hiding information, but rather presenting it in a way that people can hear and use. So, for example, instead of quoting angry survey comments, you could say, we saw a pattern around XYZ theme. And that helps people hear the message instead of getting caught up in all of the emotions involved. Fifth, be sure to think about their priorities and concerns. Top-level leaders often have different priorities than we might. So before you bring them feedback, ask yourself, what's keeping them up at night? And What's their definition of success in this moment? Bring openness and empathy and curiosity to the situation. If you want your message to land, connect it to the priorities they're already juggling and frame it as a contribution to their goals. Finally, know your culture. Some places value bluntness, others value diplomacy. Pay attention to how others speak up and how it's received, and then ask yourself, how do I stay authentic and effective in this environment? You don't have to change the content, but your delivery should match the culture if you want it to land well. Discretion isn't about hiding the truth. It means delivering it in a way that people can actually hear. It isn't about silence, it's about judgment. So, yes, you can speak truth to power. Just remember to think about not just what you say, but how and when and to whom you say it. And not just what you are trying to get across, but think about them. What do they care about? What are their priorities? So, combine courage with care. Be honest and also be effective. Because when you show up with professionalism and humanity, that's when you earn real influence.